Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday. Let's kick the week off right. January 29th, 2024. Like I said, 23 the other day. Probably a couple days. Sorry. All right. We're getting into it. The video vault is on its way. The package is being delivered. Again, this is going to be all Buckeyes, zero ads. Everything you want, from recruiting videos, highlight videos, transfer portal guys, everything highlight video wise in your face holes. So as soon as it's ready, I'll let you know, and you can get in there. I'll try and set up a free trial for everybody. And if you want to stick around, that'd be great. But anyways, ad free, kind of worth it. Everything on YouTube has ads now, right? You're welcome. All right. Today, we're talking about a little bit of a sensitive topic. Our guy, Bill O'Brien, the recent hire by Ryan Day as new offensive coordinator, play caller. So we've seen some fans complain just because New England had a bad year this past year on offense. Not sure that's his fault, but I've seen other people get behind the decision. So let's get into it here. Let's talk about the Bob resume. Bill O'Brien is Bob. Bob is Bill. Bill is Bob. All right. So let's talk about. We'll kind of go. We'll get into like most recent to his past, like beginning. So current, present day to first jobs on his resume. So in my opinion, on the upside, Ryan Day hired a former NFL head coach to be a college assistant. Not too many people get to do that. On the downside, at his most recent job at the New England Patriots, the offense scored just 13.9 points per game this season, lowest in the NFL. But you won't find an offensive coordinator with the amount of experience that Bill O'Brien has. Ryan Day wanted someone to take over play calling who has experience as a head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach. He got all of that with O'Brien, plus experience in the NFL and big-time college football. Now, O'Brien has 34 years of coaching experience. And over 34 years, you're going to have your ups and downs. It doesn't matter what job you're in. You know, your job, my job, coaching in college and the NFL, you're going to have your ups and downs. You don't just start right on the top of the mountain, you know. But I think Bill O'Brien has what it takes to get this Buckeye offense back to being the best in the country, get that standard returned to Columbus. So let's start off with the New England job. He was offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2023. So the offense was terrible. There's no two ways about it. You can't put lipstick on this pig. In 1 year, the Patriots were held to 17 points or fewer in 12 of 17 games this season. Yeah, pathetic. Now, I will say you can't blame Bill O'Brien for their struggles. The Patriots had one of the worst quarterback situations in the league. Mac Brown and Bailey Zappi. What the fuck says Bailey Zappi? Or Mac Jones, sorry. Mac Brown. Mac Jones. Yeah, they might have been better off with Mac Brown back there at the QB position. But Bailey Zappi, Beauty Clark. Their best wide receiver was a rookie 6th-round pick, Demario Douglas. Belichick never could draft those receivers. Plus, their offensive line had holes, and they battled injuries all year. So Bill O'Brien's offense had serious personnel problems. Again, not his fault, in my opinion. I don't know how you could say it is. I'd love to see a case for it being his fault. The personnel problems will not be an issue at Ohio State when you compare the talent of the Buckeyes to the rest of college football. Like if you compare New England's talent level to the rest of the NFL. Yeah, you're not going to have that problem in Columbus. So let's go to the Alabama job, 2021 to 2022. He was OC and quarterbacks coach again. Some Alabama fans were happy to see O'Brien leave. And Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe told a story that O'Brien once told him he should change positions. Might not be bad advice, personally. But statistically, Alabama's offense was one of the best in the country in both of O'Brien's years there calling plays. Excuse me. Quarterback Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy in O'Brien's first year in 2021, and they were ranked sixth nationally in points per game, 39.9. That's the heights we're trying to get back to. Seventh in the FBS in yards per game, 488, and they made it to the national championship game. They tied for fourth in the FBS in points per game, 41.1, and eighth nationally in yards per play, 6.93 in 2022. After O'Brien left, the offense did drop off sharply in 2023, but also Bryce Young left, so you can't leave that out. Alabama finished 58th nationally in yards per game at 393 and 24th in points per game with 34. So let's talk about the Houston Texans job. He was there 2014 to 2020 as head coach. He led the Texans to 4 AFC South titles in 2015, 16, 18, and 19. O'Brien's offenses during those 6 years as head coach were mediocre, not great, but not horrible either. None of them finished in the top 10 in total scoring or offense or scoring offense. In his 4 full seasons calling plays, 2014, 17, 18, 19, the Texans were mostly better than the league average. 2014, they were 17th in total yards, 14th in scoring. 2015, 19th in yards, 21st in scoring. 2016, they were 29th in yards, 28th in scoring. 2017, they were 20th in yards, 17th in scoring. 2018, 15th in yards, 11th in scoring, so getting better. And then 2019, they were 13th in yards and 14th in scoring. So improving, but still just above middle of the pack, you know. And then 2020, he was fired after 4 games. They were 13th in yards and 18th in scoring. He did help Deshaun Watson have the 3 best seasons of his NFL career. Watson made the Pro Bowl in all 3 years. So let's get to the Penn State job. He was there only 2 years, seemed like longer. It probably seemed like 10 years to him. So that was 2012, 2013, head coach. O'Brien took on the job, replacing Joe Paterno, and a brutal time for the program. They were hit with a 4-year postseason ban, the loss of 40 scholarships over 4 years. O'Brien led the Knits to back-to-back winning seasons. He left Penn State with a 15-9 record after 2 years. Not terrible. They did end up dropping some of those some of the bans and the sanctions later on after he left. But anyway, Penn State's offenses in those seasons were nothing great. Yes, the Knits were outside the top 60 nationally in points per game in both years, but ranked 4th in the Big Ten in total offense both years. Before O'Brien got there, Penn State was ranked 10th in the Big Ten in total offense. After he left, they were ranked 13th in total offense. Matt McGloin, quarterback, and Christian Hackenberg both had their best statistical years while O'Brien was coach. And wide receiver Allen Robinson was Big Ten Receiver of the Year in both years. Now let's go to New England Patriots job he had 2007 to 2011. This was O'Brien's most successful job as OC and was his first tenure in New England. He helped Patriots get to 2 AFC championships and 4 AFC titles in 5 years. In '07, his first year on staff, he was an offensive assistant. The Patriots went 16-0 and had one of the best offenses in NFL history. Remember Randy Moss? Yeah, he was good. He led the league. They led the league with 36.8 points per game and 411 yards per game. Brady threw for an NFL record 50 TD passes. Insane. So O'Brien was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach '09 and 2010. Pats were ranked third in the league in yards per game, 397, and passing yards per game, 277 in 2009. And they led the NFL with 32.4 points per game in 2010. In his final year at OC in 2011, Patriots ranked second in the NFL in yards per game, 428, and third in the league in points per game, 32.1. Brady threw for over 5,000 yards, 5,235, and his total, that was his highest total in 20 years with New England, and career high 8.6 yards per attempt. It's legit, man. Jesus. So that was the end of the New England era. Then before that, he was at Duke, 2005, 2006 as OC. This was O'Brien's least successful job as an offensive coordinator in college. And they were ranked second to last nationally in total offense in his first 2 seasons as offensive coordinator. In year 2, they were 105 yards per 105th in yards per game. So not great, but again, you have those ups and downs as you go through your career. Duke wasn't better in the years before and after O'Brien, though. That should be pointed out. He was not successful in fixing Duke's offense, obviously, but this was during a 17-year stretch where they didn't even make a bowl game. So their problems were well beyond just the offensive coordinator for 2 years or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, 2 years, '05 to '06. So before that, he was at Georgia Tech, 2001 to 2002 as OC. O'Brien's first year as offensive coordinator at any level. The Georgia Tech offense ranked 28th in the country in scoring and 34th in total offense as the Yellow Jackets went 8-5. They put up almost 32 points per game and 418 yards per game. That's legit at Georgia Tech. The offense's performance dipped in his second year. They were 94th in college football with 21.5 points per game and 57th with 375 yards per game. When he left Georgia Tech after the '02 season, he became the running backs coach at Maryland for 2 years and then took that OC job at Duke that we mentioned earlier. There was a drop-off in performance between year 1 and year 2, but that was 20 years ago again. But we haven't seen those declines in his recent job. So O'Brien's years of experience as a head coach, again, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in the NFL and big-time college football, is exactly what Ryan Day wanted in his play caller. And any coach with 34 years of experience is going to have their ups and downs. Again, I can't reiterate that enough. I think people just don't look at the big picture. They look at, oh, this guy sucked last year. No, actually, he didn't have shit to play with. So I think Bill O'Brien, along with the weapons the Buckeyes have on offense, can get this Ohio State offense back on track, reinstitute the standard as best in the country. So that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.